Welcome to Extraterrestrial Reality. Today we have a pretty decent show, I believe. We're going to be talking about some new spheres that are showing up in Buga, Colombia. As we talked about in a recent episode, there was a sphere that was recovered by some residents in that area, and some scientists are trying to understand what that sphere is and where it came from. They're still seeking answers with regard to that. But meanwhile, there have been sightings of other spheres, and they have been filmed, and we're going to be talking about that. I'm sure some of you already know about that, but we have some more things to talk about with regard to that. But first off, I need to make a correction with regards to the podcast that I published early this morning, actually. Basically, what happened was one of my another fellow Las Vegas alien incident researcher, Matrick. He had provided some information yesterday to Scott Roeder and myself, but that information turned out to be wrong. What I stated in that episode was that there was a robot, an Amazon robot, that filmed the object that coming down from the sky just before midnight on April 30th of 2023, but it wasn't that Amazon, that particular thing. That's not what filmed it. And also the location from where it was filmed was incorrect. Actually, in that episode, from information that I had gathered from Matrick, he stated that he believed it was filmed from the area of 6001 East Tropical Parkway, but that's not the case, according to Chris Lathrop, who also has done a lot of work on the Las Vegas alien incident, as he was also on the show before, as you all know. And he says that the location where it was filmed was actually 6421 West Post Road, Las Vegas. And he basically contacted Matrick and myself this morning, and he corrected us. He laid it all out that this K5 unit, this K5 surveillance unit that Amazon apparently uses for security reasons, that's not what filmed the object. It was actually a robotic car. It was a self-driving car. And not the object, this K5, this robot that Matrick was talking about. That's not what it was. And the location where Matrick said it was filmed, 6001 East Tropical Parkway, that's not the correct location. According to information from Chris Lathrop, it's 6421 West Post Road, Las Vegas. And actually, he contacted Matrick first, and he explained it to him, and Matrick agreed. And it's actually the thing that filmed it it's a thing called Zooks. It's this car. Here it is. I have it on the screen right now from from its website, Zooks. It's actually a company that's owned by Amazon. They have these self-driving taxis, and that's what this is. It's a self-driving taxi, and these vehicles are equipped with FLIR cameras. Here is an article back from Teledyne FLIR from almost 5 years ago. FLIR to provide thermal imaging cameras for Zooks robotaxi. So that is the source. So somebody working for Amazon leaked that information. It's still basically the same story, just that the location has changed, and it wasn't this surveillance robot that filmed it. It was actually filmed by this Zooks robotaxi. Here it is on the screen right here. This is what it looks like right there. And that's an article from almost 5 years ago. So I just wanted to point that out. It's very important to correct things when you make a mistake. And what are you going to do? And it's so funny, because I know later on in that podcast, I believe it was yesterday's podcast, yeah, I did bring up that people in our positions, UFO researchers, when there's mistakes made, you just you correct them, and then you move on. I mean, this really doesn't change the story. It still was an Amazon operated robotic taxi that filmed it. Instead of it wasn't a just surveillance security robot. That's not what it was. It was this thing, according to this information that Chris Lathrop had compiled. So it's important to point out this error that was made. But hey, at least we now know. We know it was what was responsible for filming it. It was a robot. In this case, it was a robotic taxi that's operated, owned by Amazon, and they're being tested in different parts of the country right now. Right now, obviously, it's been in Las Vegas, and they're supposed to have in 2026. They're supposed to be more debuting in other parts of the world as well. So that's I wanted to get that out of the way first. But now getting into this FLIR story, this is very interesting. Of course, I'm sure some of you have seen some of the videos. There's a person on X named Wixie who's always posting all kinds of stuff on there. And a lot of people first saw this. There was actually two different videos. I'm going to be playing one right now. You see, this is the first video. Apparently, there was a farmer. His name was Don Mario. He was working on his tractor on May 7th in Colombia, and he spotted this FLIR, and he jumped off his tractor and he started to film it. And then he lost sight of it after a while. And then another FLIR showed up, or maybe it was the same FLIR. I don't know how you would know, but he continued filming it. And so basically that's what happened with this. And you're looking at the video right now. For those who are listening to this, there's basically a FLIR hovering near trees in Payo Blanco in Sino do Buga in Colombia, in the same region that other FLIR was recently recovered and is now being studied. Now, who knows what's going on with this situation? We don't understand. But basically, we got two separate videos of a FLIR flying around. Apparently, they're two different ones, or maybe it's the same one. We really don't know. But I think it's very interesting. Now, a lot of people are wondering what's going on with this. Is this just somebody? Is this some sort of a drone? That's what some people are saying. And we're going to pull this up on the screen right now. This was from the average Chris on X. Now, this guy is a Mick West acolyte. He's a debunker, but I thought that this video was interesting. I want to show this because it needs to be pointed out. And he writes this. He wrote, "It looks like a lot like this drone below, which was filmed 11 years ago. The movements match as the orb isn't moving at a high rate of speed or displaying any real anomalous characteristics, just some minor 45-degree-like turns, and moves very slowly. If you notice in the video from Jaime Maussan, quoted below, there is music and a voiceover covering the sound of the video. Probably a reason for that, and I'd say it's to mask the sound of the propellers of the drone." Now, that's just making crap up out of his mind. I don't think that's the case whatsoever. And he also added that Maussan has a history of promoting UFO hoaxes. Now, I've been saying recently with regard to Jaime Maussan is most certainly like a promoter kind of guy, right? But he's one of the most well-known personalities as far as UFOs are concerned in Mexico and South America. So this is who people go to when these things happen. When they get incredible footage, it ends up with Jaime Maussan a lot of times from people who have really good encounters in South America, Mexico, and that part of the world. But anyway, this is the video that he uploaded, the average Chris uploaded to X, and I just want to show you this. It's a demonstration of this drone, of a circular object. It's basically a drone, but it's shaped like a globe, and it's just flying around a room. And he's saying that that's what this is. But of course, there's really no explanation. Here's the problem with that. Now, when you look at the videos, as we're talking here, I'll play the video from these new releases from Jaime Maussan, where you see this orb, this metallic-looking orb floating around these trees. For one thing, in the drone, in the circular drone version, I mean, of course, it has to be. You can't have it everything closed off, or because there's propellers in there. I mean, how's it going to fly if you close everything off? You can't do that. So that's a question that's unanswered here. That doesn't answer this question. And I'm not saying one way or the other. I don't know. I think more investigation needs to be done here. But I mean, according to the story, this is, there was a farmer jumped off his tractor because he saw this orb flying around. He started filming it, and then he lost it. It disappeared, and then another one showed up, and he began to film that one. That's basically the story here. There was two different videos now that Jaime Maussan has been presenting online. So I just want to me, right, this is disingenuous. When you go right to this, it's Jaime Maussan. Oh, he has a history of promoting hoaxes, so it must be a hoax. And look at this. This is filmed this was a demonstration of a globe-shaped orb from 11 years ago. And look at this thing. It's moving around the same way as the objects that we see in these videos. First off, ask yourself this question. Well, I mean, I'm not saying that it could turn out to be some sort of a drone, right? But at the same time, you have to wonder, okay, who in the hell is testing stuff like this down in Buga, Colombia? I mean, who would be doing that? I mean, why aren't we seeing these kinds of things floating around, outside our neighborhood here, right, in America or other places of the world, right? So I'd like to know the answer to that. Like, why would somebody be testing these things down there? But here's the other thing. What I find interesting is that somebody had posted this on UFO Reddit. Of course, I have problems with UFO Reddit, but not everybody's a jerk. But there were some excellent points that were made here, and I want to talk about those points. There was a person here, a user named Baker's Boy 98, who wrote this. He says this was posted in another thread this morning, and he had a link there. And now, if you click on that link, there's that thread was closed down for some reason. But anyway, it continues here. He says the details on the origins of this sighting / video appear different in both threads. This was, quote, discovered, end quote, by hikers on a trail, whereas the earlier thread, it was discovered by a farmer working in the fields in his tractor. So this is very interesting. This is the nature of disinformation. This is how it works. And there was some other comments that follow here where you see where this is leading. And then he continues here. He writes, this by no means is any degree of evidence of a hoax. However, in order to be able to attempt a reasonable assessment of this, we do need clarification on the true origins of this. Also, just notice that the time and dates when this was supposedly taken differ in both accounts. And then somebody responded to him, a person named Plasma Farmer. He says, if I would be a disinformation agent, I would quickly re-upload the real footage with changed details to confuse everyone and make the footage look like a hoax. I'm not saying this is what happened. I'm saying we need more clarification. And then there was another response from someone, a user named Shibu. It says, I'm not one for agreeing to this, but with that said, that's exactly why it's so easy to fool people. It's so easy to turn something credible into nonsense on the internet. Just create confusion around something until people exhaust themselves and move on. The game is all mental. I agree with this. Like I think that's I don't think that anyone right now could say like just people like regular people out there could say what this is. Not like average Chris. I mean, he thinks he has all the answers. Obviously, he doesn't. He's a Mick West wannabe. That's what he is. And so. What I believe is what could happen. What could have happened here? That you have different stories now. Like, okay, somebody decided, okay, you know what? I'll just. If you're a disinformation agent, that's what you would do. You would put out, okay, it was actually some people who were just taking a hike, and that's who it was. And this way, the story looks like somebody fabricated it. It was all fabrication from the get-go. That's what it makes it look like. So I think that's important to keep in mind. So I just wanted to point that out. But, here's the thing about this. Now, whether or not these spheres or orbs or whatever you want to call them that we see floating around in these videos that we have now, whatever they are, right? Here's the thing. I don't know. At this point, right, we need more investigation. I don't know if we'll ever know what they are. I mean, maybe did somebody invent something where a drone where you could completely enclose it? And I don't know how that would work, because, again, they're propeller driven. I'm not sure. So I think more investigation needs to be done. I do agree with Average Chris that they do look like similar in the way they move around, right? If you looked at the demonstration video of this from 11 years ago of this orb, which it was opened up. I mean, there's nothing. It's not contained. There's no shiny metal surrounding it. It's opened, right? But it's circular shape. But it's still. How would you do that with something that's completely enclosed? I don't see how that's possible. It couldn't be a drone that way, unless there's some other technology that somebody has invented. I'm not sure. But let's just talk about this here. These orbs have been seen by people for since the 40s. But this is since World War II. There were Foo Fighters, and then when the UFO wave began in 1947, a lot of cases. When you research this subject, you will find so many different cases where people see a flying saucer and there are orbs were tailing them. So I want to talk about that a little bit. I think we need to dig into this a little bit. Like, here's some of the cases just offhand. I just dug up a few cases here. Like, for instance, the Westall UFO incident in Australia in 1966. Over 200 students and teachers, they saw a flying saucer land and take off near Westall High School in Melbourne. And some witnesses had reported that there were small spheres or orbs trailing or surrounding the larger craft. There's stories like this all over the place. Through the decades, these orbs are seen all the time. So it's not something new. This isn't like a new phenomenon. This has been going on a long time. So, and you have to, when you know that, you understand, well, wait a minute, there's no way that anyone had any kind of technology, any human being had technology like this back in the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. No, there's no way, right? Another one for the Belgium UFO wave. There were multiple sightings of large triangular black craft or disc-shaped crafts, and often with orbs of light were near them. A lot of time, witnesses and radar confirmed the presence of bright lights that maneuvered independently from the main craft. So there was just so many different cases. The Colares, Brazil incident in 1977, there was a lot of different people who were seeing large saucers and small glowing orbs. Some people were getting attacked by these objects. Some people apparently also died, according to researchers like Jacques Vallée in that incident. But here, I'm going to pull up some other ones here that I put together. For instance, here's one, the Killeen Base incident, which happened in Texas in the United States in 1949. Military personnel observed a silver disc-shaped craft flying over Killeen Base, followed by several small glowing orbs. Witnesses described the orbs as behaving like escorts or drones. In the famous 1952 Flatwoods monster encounter in West Virginia, witnesses reported a large object landing in a forest. Then they saw small red glowing orbs in the area. The orbs were initially thought to be eyes, but later considered possibly autonomous probes or sentient lights. And then I didn't even know. I wasn't. This was something I wasn't aware of. The McMinnville UFO incident in 1950. Those famous two pictures that were taken by Paul Trent. The Trent photographs show a classic flying saucer, while the images don't show orbs. Local witnesses reported glowing spheres in the area before and after the photos were taken. And then in the Lonnie Zamora case, of course, Lonnie Zamora in New Mexico in 1964, he was a police officer. He saw an egg-shaped UFO that landed, and he also saw alien creatures apparently that were standing near it. And then both of them jumped in there, and apparently the thing took off. But nearby, small glowing blue and orange orbs were seen by other locals. While not part of Zamora's direct sighting, other credible witnesses linked orbs to the incident. In France, the Cusack encounter, this involved two children. They saw a saucer-shaped craft and humanoid figures. As the craft departed, a glowing sphere was seen trailing it. The sphere acted like a companion to the main craft. See, this has been going on for decades. These spheres or orbs or however you want to call them, have been seen by a lot of people when they see UFOs, a lot of times bigger crafts. Another one, the Phoenix Lights. Many saw a massive triangular, this was from 1997 in Arizona. Many saw a massive triangular craft or multiple saucers over Phoenix. In addition to the main V formation, orbs of light were seen detaching and rejoining the main object. It's still considered one of the most credible mass sightings. In Stephenville, Texas from 2008, pilots and civilians reported a massive flying object chased by military jets. Alongside it, multiple white orbs maneuvered with intelligence. And also, the FAA radar data later confirmed anomalous objects in the area. The Chilean Navy UFO video from 2014. A Navy helicopter filmed a dark flying object releasing two glowing blobs or orbs. Infrared showed unusual energy signatures. Has been unexplained, by the way, too. That case, the Tic Tac incident involving with the David Fravor incident of the USS Nimitz in 2004. Navy pilots tracked a Tic Tac shaped UFO, but radar and visual reports describe smaller cap-like orbs flying around it. Although not widely publicized, some intelligence sources and later interviews mentioned the smaller objects as key. And also, I just want to point out that some of the patterns across all these cases, orbs often appear before, during, or after the main saucer or UFO sighting. They're usually a white, red, blue, or orange, capable of high speed and erratic motion, silent and sometimes intelligent or reactive, sometimes seen merging with or detaching from larger craft. So, and then you think about Ashton Forbes. He's talking about. He thinks that the orbs he says that the orbs that surround that MH370 they were manufactured and operated by the United States government, and they deliberately disappeared that plane. I don't know if that's the case or not, but here's the problem: is that these orbs have been seen with flying saucers and other apparent alien, not NHI craft for decades. This is nothing new. I think that this story here from Colombia is very interesting, and I think more research is most certainly warranted for sure. And obviously they have one apparently, and they're looking at it now. Some people, I don't know. A lot of us, even when I looked at the images of the orb that they recovered, to me it looked like it could have been made in a machine shop. I had some experience in a machine shop a long time ago, and it's something that could be. To me, that's what it looked like. That doesn't make me right, though. More investigation is needed, and you have a scientist saying they don't understand what's going on with this object, and how it, where it came from, or what it's supposed to be. And some people are saying it seems to get heavier as time goes on. More research is required, and maybe we'll get an answer with regard to this. Who knows? I just think it's pretty interesting that we have. These videos right now. Could it turn out to be something that is man-made? Of course it could be. But of course, I think to sit there and just for anyone to say one way or the other at this point, that's disingenuous on either side. Actually, if you, it's one thing you have a debunker come out and say, oh yeah, this is most certainly an orb, and plus it's Aimee Masson, so it must be a hoax, right? So you can't believe that. And then on the other side, you have people who say, oh yeah, this is aliens. I don't. How do you know that for sure? At the same time, right? It could be aliens because we know that they're here. Right, we know that they're here. It wouldn't be surprising if it's NHI to me. I just think more investigation needs to happen here. That's where I'm at with it. So I just wanted to talk about. I think that this is something we need to continue to follow, and we'll see where it leads. Anyway, this is going to be a quick show today. I want to say this. I want to say thank you all for joining me. Until next time.